Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kylie, and for today's video we're going to do a little bit of an update. It's been a while. First of all, I'd love to give a really big thank you to Caffee's Coffee Catch, who did my banner and for my YouTube and for my Twitter. Thank you very much, you're amazing. Her artwork is absolutely astounding, so if you are interested in that, please check her out. She's amazing. I'll leave her links below. Thank you once again. So, welcome back to this. Things have been a bit chaotic. Sorry, I haven't uploaded in a little bit. We got very hectic at work, so I've been very tired and demotivated to do any content. Although I have filmed things, I just haven't put things together, and I'm still trying to figure out this whole, mostly the editing process. To be honest, I think it's still a skill that I'm still learning. So right now, I think I'll just keep. Hopefully, I'll put this up. This is Monday, Monday the 11th of October, and I will hopefully get that back onto another week later, going from probably Sunday. Actually, I would say now Sunday. We'll do it from Sunday, and we'll go from there. But for now, I want to just give you a little bit of an weekly update. Also, going past from the last uh, uh, 10 days of October, basically what's been happening, and what the books I've been reading as well. So like I said, work has been very, very busy, so I have found it quite hard in times to read, and also there has been a few things going on at the moment, which is I had my birthday, which was the 29th of September. So we did quite a few birthday things. I met up with my two really good friends, and we went to Edinburgh, and we had a very nice day out in Edinburgh. Did a bit of shopping, did a little bit of book shopping. And I stayed in one of the hotels there, which was very, very nice. I also, as a birthday treat, me and my partner, we stayed at the Crown Hotel in Glasgow. We stayed there. That's our second time staying there, so we were like, because it was his birthday on the 20th and mine on the 29th, so it's kind of like we combined thing, little thing. And we met also some friends there as well for a meal, which was very nice as well. We're also checking out the hotel because it is going to be a convention that I help staff in February, which is very, very exciting. And hopefully, regarding COVID, it will hopefully go ahead. That convention is ScotiaCon. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully we go ahead. Hopefully everything is COVID safe. It looks good. It looks good, so fingers crossed. But anyway, let's get into what I have been reading over the month of October so far, and what I plan to read. Now, I am taking part in two readathons. I like to make it simple for myself, I know. The first is Spoopathon, which is hosted by the delightful and awesome Spooky Hall. And she has basically done a Halloween themed readathon. I'll put the announcement below if you want to join in. But and all the details regarding that. But basically, you have to escape the haunted house, and there's different prompts going down, and you have to go through doors to get enough points to go through the doors, or go past the ghosts and everything. I'm nearly there. I just got one more book to pass through the house, and then I can possibly do it another time. The second is the reason is the Magical Hopathon, which is hosted by Rachel Kerris, and this is basically a reason that celebrates the 50th anniversary of the opening of Walt Disney World in Florida, specifically the Magic Kingdom. I've been there years ago. I haven't been there for we're talking 90s, if it shows you how old I am. But I would love to go back one day. But basically it's a restaurant that goes around all the different Disney parks, with Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Kingdom, and Walt Disney Studios, or Hollywood Studios. I'm not sure what the Florida one is, but it basically goes around the different parks, and you have to do a gate entrance, like the gate ticket, one to get in one of the parts. You start off with there, and then you do attraction, a snack, and a show, and you have to complete all the spots before you go on to the next part. But you don't need to do the intro tickets the first time, so it would just be the snack, the attraction, and the show for each of the parts. So it's like 13 books you can do a max of. I'm nearly completed my first park. I started with Magic Kingdom, and I'll go through the books where I've gone so far. So the first one I chose this was both for Spoopathon and for Magic Kingdom, for Magical Hopathon, and so it's not the full thing. This was the Hope of Elantris, which I just read Hope of Elantris last month, and this is one of the short stories that goes with that, and it's under 200 pages, which was the first prompt I chose for Spoopathon, and it is a fantasy, which is the part second prompt for Magic Kingdom was read a fantasy or magical realism, and this is a fantasy. So this was really good. I think it was set in a story. It was not actually set where the actual same planet as Atlantis. Possibly it could be, or it could be different planets in that same solar system. But basically, it was about the Emperor has been basically murdered, and they employ this. She's a prisoner, but they basically employ her to make a stand-in, a soul, so basically he's I would say it's not him, it's a manufactured soul, but they kind of put blood magic on it so she can't escape and everything. Really, really good, really interesting, actually quite spooky as well. Brandon Sanderson's book seems to be quite spooky, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. The next book I read, this was just for Spoopathon, and the next one I am on team Spook Shifters, which is Spook's own team. We can move diagonally above the board. So one of the ones, I didn't want to choose the one below it, so I went for the one diagonally, and that was to read a graphic novel, which had a graphic novel, more manga comics. So I picked the top Full Metal Alchemist. This is a Flame 1 edition. It was quite good. It's not completely my thing. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'll continue the series. But basically, it's like these two brothers, and that's the thing with manga. So, like, goes the other way around. But it's like it's basically two brothers. They try to bring their mother back from the dead, but unfortunately, one of them, this brother here, he lost his arm and his leg, and the other one lost his full body. So they put him in a suit of armor, and it's all about that. There's other sorts of armors, like other enemies to do with this as well, but the alchemists and stuff. So yeah, I found it quite easy. I found it quite good. I enjoyed it enough. I don't know if I'll continue it. I probably might give it another reread because I was trying to get through it, but from what I've known, I did enjoy it, but just not completely my thing. But yeah. The next book I read for Spoopathon, and also I think for Magical Hopathon as well, I think this was read a book, non-fiction, and this I read This Glen Heart, which is basically a diary of a junior doctor who it's Adam Kay. This was really like quite funny the way he put his. He was basically in a doctor for like 6 years before he became decided to basically resign because something had happened to him. It was like, no, I've had enough. I can't deal with this anymore. It's just, and he became a comedian. But it's basically his life as a doctor going, moving up in his career, and some of his anecdotes of what he's actually seen. She's basically working really late hours and everything like that. And some of the things that the patients actually come out with are actually quite hilarious on a very, very serious subject. And you can see how, God, how much doctors, and this was pre-pandemic as well. So I really recommend this. It's a really, really good read. I gave it a 4, or if I could even rate it at all. But yeah, because I'm not sure if I should rate non-fictions or not, because regarding the actual seriousness of the book. But yes, I really liked that, and I would recommend anybody read this. It's really, really interesting and quite funny reading parts to make light of the series topic. The next book that I've also read, and this was also for the prompt that's I think you read after 3 p.m. So I think this was to do with one of the parades which was after 3 p.m. I can't remember what it's called. But the next one was read dice reps for Spoopathon, and I chose the Vanishing Half. And this was also the prompt for read a booktube favourite, favourite for was like Dole Whip for the Magical Hopathon. This is basically regarding two sisters, one who while they're teenagers, basically they go off and disappear and look for a better life. And one sister decides, like, for meets has marries and has a child, but the actual the relationship is quite abusive, so they escape and they come back home. And the other sister has basically gone off, married a white man. This is and made her decided to try and pass herself off as white, and she's basically just like doesn't want to associate with the fact she was black at all, or what's any black people moving into case they would find out her secret. And it's basically also follows their daughters. Well, I just thought it would follow sisters, but it also follows their daughters and obviously their grandmother as well through their lives. So it's not only on the sisters, it's following their daughters as well and their whole lives. So I found it really, really interesting. It was really good. I really enjoyed this. I would recommend anybody read this, especially if you like this kind of thing, if you're into literary fiction, a little bit hard-hitting literary fiction. I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, that was good. That's all I have currently read. So I have 2 more prompts left on, one for Magic Kingdom and one for like Escaping the House. With one of them is reading a book for dark. And then at the moment, I'm making my way through, from last month, I've decided to just swap it. I was going to read the Graveheart book. I might just read that as well, but I'm also finishing off these Island Delight. Sorry, I've took the dust jacket off it. This is basically a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai, but it's not completely not like it's still your gang wars between Romeos and it's like the red roses and the white lilies, I think, or something like that. But the two families are basically in a gang war. But there's something even more like pressing than that. There's basically people ripping out their throats and going mad, basically. And it turns out it's these little insects, and they're trying to find out where that's coming from. So completely not lovey-dovey story. Although Romeo and Juliet do have known each other and have had like a romantic relationship before, and there is kind of hints of that, but it doesn't really go in completely in with the story. And I actually prefer that because I'm not really much of a romance reader and actually like the horror elements. I did not expect this to be a horror book whatsoever. I didn't really read the blurb other than the fact that it was a Romeo and Juliet fantasy set in Shanghai. I would say it was more horror, and I do like horror fantasy. I'm increasingly really liking it. So this was a perfect pick for October, really. So yeah, so hopefully I can finish that for my I'll read after dark prompt for Spoopathon. And the last one I might do, but I might switch this out, is for Space Mountain, which is read a book which is sci-fi or a space or something like that. And this I'm even doing it at the moment. I'm only I might swap this out for the graveyard book for the haunted thing and leave this on for another prompt at Epcot if I can't get through it enough. Because I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time with this one, although I do want to read it before the film comes out. But basically, this is completely me. I can expect I would like it, but I was a little. This is a very intimidating book, so this might go for the book that scares you when I get into the next bit of the house. And but this is basically a bit of war, of territory, and there's this planet called Arrakis, and there are people down there, and there's two warring factions. There's like they want to take over the planet, and there's Paul, who's the son of the Duke, and he's been like the heir of the Duke, basically. So they go down there to they've been given this by the king. But there's another faction that wants Arrakis more. There's a kind of political plot there. I love political fantasies. This is a sci-fi, but really reads like a sci-fi fantasy to me. It's basically this is on this world where there's space, and the space is mined, and it's worth more than God knows what. It's really, really valuable. But also water is very valuable because it's a desert planet. But there's also these sandworms, which make it quite impossible. I don't know much about it, and I think I had seen the old film years ago, but I think I only seen little bits of it, so don't completely know what it's about. But I've seen the trailer for the new one and it looks amazing, and I've read parts of that are in the trailer, which were in the beginning of this. I'm only about on page 78, so not far into it. But this is completely my kind of book. But this is the kind of book that's going to take time. I don't want to rush this. I don't want to put myself a little bit in a slump. I'm kind of wanting to read this, but at the same time, I want to read Graveyard books. So I might read this and Graveyard books, which is by Neil Gaiman, and I think it's a found family where basically this little boy is dropped off in the graveyard and the ghosts raise him, and it's found family. And that's all I really know about that, but I've heard so amazing things, and found family is one of my favourite tropes. So yeah, that's really all that's really been happening. Going forward, that's the kind of two books. So I would say, so continue on with June. Hopefully finish these Violent Delights soon, and maybe read the Graveyard book as well, and then we'll see from there, and we'll see where we're going from there. So I might do another update. There, we'll see where we go. But I think I also want to try and get to Empire of the Vampire at one point as well, because I got that in my Lumicrate. That was very beautiful. I also possibly want to get to Frankenstein, because a classic I haven't read, and I have that beautiful Barnes and Noble edition. And I also want to get to Amelia Fang as well, because I have the whole series as well. And also, there's another book. If I can, and start another one of the Mistborn books. That would be good. Possibly get to this month. There's so many books that I want to get to. This is why I kind of want to keep this like mood ready. As for next month, we have Spoopathon, and that's the only readathon that I'm taking part in. I'm going to be really, really easy on myself. It is basically, and I think because this is the last one, Gavin, he has said it's the last full month one, and there might be a shorter, smaller one. You can understand it's a lot of time to. I find this quite hard. Never mind running a whole readathon. So he's made it really simple this year. He's got all the authors on board, and they did said all the prompts, that he used all the green screens, which was hilarious. I absolutely loved the whole Aquas Pods with Winifred number. That was just amazing. But I would like to possibly, there's basically prompt cards, and you pick one, and you only need to do one, and there's no filling out forms instance. So I might just do one middle grade next month, and then mood read and see how we go. Because there are some other books I'd like to get to before the end of the year that I have kind of neglected. But that's it, really. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'd like to possibly do another video going forward, to maybe a little more, because I do have other interests, other books. As you can probably tell, there is Disney things behind you. I am a big Disney fan, and I'm going to Paris. Hopefully, it's all booked in February, which would be fantastic. I have not been to Disney Paris in about over 10 years, so this would be so good. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to stay in the Marvel Hotel. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm also I'm not a big Marvel fan, but I guess that comes under Disney. I know. So yeah, I'm a big Pokemon fan. I also like make my own characters and stuff. I am a furry. I would not be scared to actually say that. But if you want to know anything more, I probably will be covering off a few things. So yeah. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell if you are, and if you've got any comments in below, if you've read any of these books or you want to discuss, or if you've got any other things you'd like to see from me, please leave a comment. Like I said, I'd like to talk to people about this and show my love of all the different books and other interests that I have. So bye for now.